Hello and welcome to another episode of Squartified Engineering. I'm Sprutis, and today I thought that we would talk about my new daily driver. So my old one and my new one. I've actually had it now for roughly 10 months, so I've gotten used to it. And let's start with why I need a new daily driver. So in case you don't know, my old daily driver is a Peugeot 206 from 2005. It's the Sport edition, so 1.6 liter inline 4 with 110 horsepower. So considering the size and the weight and so on, it's quite it's relatively fast, and it's actually quite fun to drive, and it has not even done 100,000 kilometers yet, so basically a teen at most. But it can actually take quite a lot of luggage as long as you fold the rear seats and so on. When Sid was moving into me, or she was getting rid of her old apartment, we were actually able to fit quite a lot of stuff in the Peugeot. So a bigger car could have been made things easier then. But so size is then one reason why I need a new daily driver. Now with the house, which you can see behind me, it's also a good thing to have a tow hitch. The size again, just for the house to be able to drive things around. Even though the Peugeot is quite fun, it's not the most comfortable of cars for me because of my length, I guess. I'm not extremely tall. I'm normally normal sized, but I wanted something more comfortable to drive in, because I'm spending quite a lot of time in my car. So basically that size, tow hitch, something more fun. Even though the Peugeot is fun, you can still increase that portion. Something comfortable, and I guess I also wanted something that I could build on. Not like a project car like my Supra is, but something in that direction, because I know myself, and if I start to spend money on a car, I won't really get back that money. So it would be nice to have something that I would actually have for a long time. With that list, and also if we mix in cost, because we do have to pay tax yearly, we have the insurance, we have fuel consumption, and then also we have to factor in repairs. And if we look at repairs, what kind of repairs could I see myself doing with the daily? Rust is never fun, and that has a tendency to sort of run away, so it becomes a big project, because if you don't catch it early, then you will have to repaint perhaps an entire panel, or the entire car in worst case. Consumption, I will stay with gasoline for any foreseeable future, so there's only one option there. I will as long as possible stay with manual gearbox, so that's also a criteria. I want a manual. Wanted a manual. And tax wise, it would be nice to, I mean, it's never fun to increase your costs, especially for something like that. So I wanted something similar tax wise as the Peugeot, and I'm willing then to have a small increment in fuel consumption in case it gives me more power or a more comfortable ride. So I was looking at a few things, and eventually, since my Supra is a rear-wheel drive, I thought it would be good to have a daily driver that's also rear-wheel drive. Not only because it's fun, but also for practicing. So especially in the winter, because I want to become better at driving rear-wheel drive, especially when I've spent so much time on the paintwork on the Supra. I don't want to go out and put it sideways into a tree the first day or something like that. That won't happen, but still, I will try and do whatever I can to minimize that risk. And one way is to practice on going sideways. So that became an extra criteria on my list. And when you add that to the list, and also manual gearbox, then you don't really have that many cars to choose from, or brands. And of course, while keeping the purchase price at a reasonable level. So basically it came down to BMW and Mercedes-Benz. And I felt that the BMWs had a bit more to offer performance-wise. There's also another thing, and that's that I have been working with BMW professionally, which just sort of increased the wanting factor for BMW. And initially I actually wanted a 5 Series, like an E60 or E61, and I've been looking for one of those for a few years. They haven't really shown up in the, let's say I haven't had the money to spend on a car like that basically up until now. I was looking for more like a bargain, a car that had some fault that I could fix and then get to buy it for a better price. But that have changed, and I wanted a car that I could use as a daily driver and basically have it running with only normal maintenance, no big things, no big repairs required before I could start running it. My time needs to go elsewhere. And sure, BMW might not be the best in that case, but initially I think it's a good option. If something breaks down the line, then I'm okay with that, and I will of course fix it myself. But anyway, I was looking into the 5 Series, and Initially, I wanted, like I said, the E60 or E61, but I could basically only afford E39. And I went to look at one, and it was like a container. Unfortunately, it wasn't as nimble as the newer ones that I had worked with, so I was a bit, let's say, turned off by that. But now when I were able to buy something more modern, I could look again at the E60 and E61. But then I started to look at the F31, so basically the generation after, but 3 Series. And I was looking at the 328 Touring. I had found one that I was starting the discussion with the owner, but I wasn't able to finalize the deal before someone else came in and bought it. So I was a bit bummed by that, but the F31 328 it's got a inline 4 with turbo, so that was sort of a step down because I actually wanted an inline 6, but since it had a turbo, it sort of weighed up on that. But then I got to thinking, and I had a new job. I was working with inline 6, although diesel. My project car have a inline 6, gasoline and turbo. So why not have a daily driver with an inline 6? So I was looking into the E90 or E91 a bit more, and I realized that if I focused on the facelift, which have the N53 B30 engine, then I will have a 3-liter inline 6 with direct injection, which puts me in or puts the car in a tax bracket which is not very far from the Peugeot. So similar tax, and also the insurance wasn't very far off either. The only thing would be the fuel consumption if I were to push maybe a bit harder on the gas pedal. But I figured that if for commuting, I think I was convinced that I could keep it at basically the same fuel consumption, which I can. So and also the E90 was a lot cheaper than the F30. Granted, it's older, but I could be happy with that. So the F31 that I wanted to buy came up during last summer, so 2021. And when that fell through, I continued to watch the market, the second-hand market. I was still looking at both F31 and E91, and it was quite hard to find something that I thought was in a good enough condition for me. So I think it was in October, I felt that, well, I woke up here in the house, it was a Sunday, and I felt that if I want this car, then I need to go and buy it now. So I had another look at an online second-hand market, and I increased the search area. Previously I was searching basically around the big Stockholm area, but I increased it quite a lot more. So I found my car. It was 250 kilometers one way, but it was worth it. And basically, so the inline-six direct injected engine does have a few problems. The injectors have been revised a few times, the high pressure fuel pump as well, and yeah, basically it seems like those are the big things. It's quite costly if you need to replace the injectors and so on, but the one I found had gotten the injectors replaced, and also the fuel pump, the high pressure fuel pump. It came with reasonable mileage, summer and winter wheels, and I was happy with that. I didn't think about the media system or tow hitch and so on. So when we went to look at it, I was pleasantly surprised because it had the fold-in tow hitch. I didn't realize this while looking at the car, but it had the convenient opening. I know that you can program that. So basically you grab the unlock button for the hatch and you hold it in. So that will open the hatch, and this protective curtain that covers the luggage area, it will actually slide up in tracks on the D pillars. So you don't need to open that every time you want to go into the luggage. And it also have that function from the remote. So you press the remote have 3 buttons: lock, unlock, and open the trunk. If you hold the open trunk button, it will do the same. And then a big bonus, it had the big navigator package. Then that was good. I was already set on basically upgrading the media in some way. I wasn't too concerned about that. I actually thought that this car came with the lowest of the base levels, but it does have did come with 4-inch speakers in the rear doors. Front doors, I think it's 6.5-inch bass speaker underneath the front seats, and it didn't have the tweeters in the A pillars, which is okay. And as you now see, I have already installed that, but there will be a video out about it later on. So of course I already have some plans for it. Of course I want to start with fixing some of the faults. They don't really affect performance or drivability that much, so there's no stress with that, although I have already started. The paint is the Titan Silver, and I've already bought a small can of paint to use for touch-ups. I already have bought tinting film for tinting the windows. So this one is a 2009, so it's facelift. It has the nicer grills and the extra ridges in the hood. But 2009 meaning that the only Bluetooth function that was available at the time was the emergency call function. So if you were in an accident, I think the car would call up the emergency office or something like that. In 2011, the A2DP protocol came out, meaning that you can stream music and other related information like cover art or title name and so on via Bluetooth. But since this one, the protocol didn't exist at the time, it does not even have the hardware. The hardware required for this is a COM box, and there will also be an upgrade to that, which seems pretty straightforward. So this is the 325. The 330 have the same engine but a different intake manifold and a different tune. The 330 came out with 270 horsepower, so I think I want to upgrade it to a 330. It's on stock exhaust right now. I don't really like that. It's too tame. So I think I will start with removing the rear silencer, and then we will see. Wheels, which basically is already on. Well, not basically, it is on. They are mounted on the cars and they will not fall off. So basically I used we were able to haggle a bit on the price, and what I saved there was used for buying new wheels and tires, because there was a sale on wheels, which was very convenient. So I will try and not show you the wheels, because I already have an episode about that will come out eventually. What else? Yeah, so I guess we can have a look at the car. I can show you some of the imperfections, and write in the comment section what you think about the upcoming program. Is there anything special that you want to see me do to my E91? So let's head on over to the car. So here it is, and I will not show you the wheels because you will have to wait for the episode about them. So I will, but yeah. So we have a few stone chips that needs to be taken care of. The doors have been repainted. They look nice, but there are, like here, a mark. So we will see if I do any repainting or putting or wrapping it. We have some bigger marks here. I haven't started on the paint correction on this one yet. This needs to be polished in order to be removed. Maybe I will do a blackout of those, as the windows will be tinted. Not the front windows, as that's not really allowed here in Sweden. And then here on the rear right passenger door, you can see the lines. I'm not sure really how they managed to scratch the door like this, but yeah, I saw it when I bought it, so it was known. We also have this like bigger chip, so I will need to do something about that. And you can see the inside as well. We have the double bubble, meaning the big screen there. There will be more information in other episodes about this. So and also the side markers, they look a bit dull, so I think I will just replace them as they aren't that expensive. I did replace the windshield wipers, but the version I bought does not make it possible to fit the stock cover, so I had to leave it like that. I will remedy that later. And there you also see the iDrive. And when I said that this is the facelift, we have this and that extra ridge, I think. I don't think those are on the pre-facelift. And also we have the sleeker grills. And of course underneath here we have an inline 6 direct injected. So I think I'm actually gonna end this episode here. I'm not sure if I made you any wiser, but drop a comment in the comment section and tell me what else you need to know. I am saving a bunch of stuff for later episodes. Hopefully I can complete the COMBOX upgrade this weekend. We will see, but yeah, there are a few episodes ready to be edited and released. They aren't really edited yet, but they are finished, so stay tuned for that. Remember to subscribe and press that bell button so you get notifications when another episode is released. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, stay safe, take care, bye bye.